So there's our house. Yeah, I just want to show you what our neighborhood looks like here. It's nice now because all the trees in our neighborhood are getting really tall. And it's lovely time right now. We're at the end of May. And I'll take you on a quick tour of my garden. Most of the tulips have wrapped up, so I don't know what I'm going to put in their place, but I've got some irises coming in and hostas and all kinds of things. A whole bunch of flowers here. Again, my tulips are all kind of wrapped up. And in the front yard garden, I've got a couple of food crops. Here's the small one there is a blueberry. And then this is my Saskatoon, and that produces a really tasty fruit. It's again like a blueberry. So having the two together, they'll cross-pollinate really well. There's my little garden trellis with some ivy on it. And the other day I picked up what's called a flame grape. It's red seedless grape that grow on that vine. So Alex is going to build me a trellis to put along the porch so we can create like a living wall. Give us some shade on the porch while we sit on our hammock. And there's our hammock. Erin loves to sit in there. And then over here we've got our the red currant. And I purchased a black one I'll be planting shortly. And so here's the side of our house. And it's a nice little corridor now. I've got like a full living wall. I planted this ivy about maybe 20 years ago. And as you can see, it's kind of a living wall now along our house. And then we have a little window over here, and in the corner we have a little bird nesting there. And it's fun because when we're in the house we can see it nesting. Little mourning dove. And there's my cedar I planted like some 20 some odd years ago. It's huge. I'll take you on a tour of our backyard. So right now we have the lilacs in bloom, and I wish that this had a scratch and smell setting. You could enjoy the smell of the white lilacs that we have here. It's beautiful. And then there's my garden. And then we're getting the purple lilacs coming in soon. Here's all the nice bloom for that. And there's the depth of our yard. And then because our yard has a slope, I put a line of cedar tree. You see the height of that one? These should get up about this tall and go right across the yard. It'll be taller than any fence we could put in by law. And that'll give us a lot more privacy with our neighbors. So here's my garden this year. Over there I've got eggplant. I've got some, let's see. I've got eggplant and I've got bok choy, and I've got 6 tomatoes on the grow, and in front of them I have some green peppers. And then this year I had a whole bunch of spinach come back, and it's starting to go into seed, so I'm going to gather the seed because the seed is good for the kind that grew in our yard. Over here I have a whole bunch of onions and shallots, and it was really nice because these all overwintered. So they're getting to be a real nice size now. And my celery is crazy beautiful. I planted the celery in the fall, and as you can see, the base of it is actually quite nice. We're getting good size celery stick this year, and those ones are huge. As you can see, they're good eating size right now. And I've got some rosemary over here. I've got my rhubarb growing. And what's nice is that it gets shade in the afternoon, and they said that when the rhubarb has a bit of shade, it grows much more. So that's a good thing. And then in this area here, I've planted green beans on the hills, and in the valley part, I planted my potato in between. They're a complementary vegetable. It acts as a way to deter bug, and it also holds in the moisture. Some of my potatoes seem to have lost some soil on it, but they're still growing anyway. I'll plant it a little deeper. Over here I've planted snow peas. Same with this area over here. Alex and I fabricated these just out of our bamboo. Speaking of which, here's our bamboo. Our bamboo is actually quite large. And the nice thing about the bamboo is it absorbs more CO2 for the area than a tree. Up to 35% more carbon dioxide is gathered because they grow so much. And this year's shoots are already turning out quite large. This is a shoot right here, and as you see, it's quite dramatic how tall it is right now. We're looking at about 3 feet. By tomorrow, it could be another foot tall. That's how quick these things grow. And yeah, because when they do get mature, they can be quite large. It's pretty spectacular. This one here is one of our thickest new shafts, and you can see how big it is at the base. That's a good thick shaft. And now this thing will grow quite quickly throughout the course of summer. It could end up some 20 feet. And those are my begonia. And so over here, beside my sweet peas, I've got some kale. I've got potato in the middle. And then I have some squash. And on the rows there, I have Indian corn. And I grow the Indian corn because I like to put the stalks up as decoration beside the doors. And along my porch, I tie the shafts of corn to the porch. They come out really nice, rust-colored and green-colored. And then I also have the fruit to enjoy as a decoration. So, the interesting thing about Indian corn is you can use it as popcorn. And that's kind of a neat little bit of trivia there. I have a yew tree. And then I have this. I don't know what this is. I forgot what it was. But I like it. It's always been there. It's a little shrub type thing. Now over here, this is fun because I didn't plant that. That just kind of migrated from one of my neighbor's yards into mine, and I like it. But I have all my raspberries. My raspberry bushes are here, and along the wall there. And they grow huge, and I get tons of fruit every year. And right here is my cherry tree, and as you can see, the fruits are already starting up. We're going to have a good year for cherries this year. Tons of bloom. I keep that. That's the honeysuckle. That's good for my pollinators. So the little bees are attracted to that, which is nice because again, I have more raspberry here. And so keeping the bees happy in this entire zone gives me lots and lots and lots of fruit. And then over here, I've got 2 types of blueberry. This one here I planted last year. This little guy I planted this year. And they'll cross-pollinate and produce more fruit that way. And this is a cute little purple flower that grew at the side of my compost. I had it for years. And I don't know what it is, but it was one of those things that just kind of popped out of the compost and continued to grow. So I've kept it. And over here, my beets came back, but now they're going into seed. And again, I want to keep the seed batch that worked well for my yard. I think it'd be really fun. It's kind of a little experimental garden. These are the things that in the fall I didn't clean, but they came back. And over here I've got garlic, some garlic shoots. And they're all over the place there. And that's my walking onion. I love these things. These grow, they produce a fruit. It falls over and then it continues to grow. But these things are delicious. Like the fruit is the stems are delicious in any kind of stir fry or dish where you need green onion. Super easy to grow. And then on this side, I leave a wild patch. This is like a pollinator paradise. And throughout the summer, I see all kinds of the local flora and fauna go through here. I've seen frogs, I've seen toads. They like the canopy because it's moist inside. I see lots of dragonfly and bees and all kinds of really beautiful bugs, praying mantis, you name it. I keep this like a little mini wildlife refuge. And over here is my juniper, a little shrub there. And there's another cherry tree. Always important to have 2 cherry trees side by side or close because again, the cross-pollination factor is important. So this one I planted last year. She's just a little one, but starting up some fruit. It's got a little bit of aphid issue right now, so I got to get some soap on that. But overall, it's already starting to go into fruit, so that's a nice thing. And again, some of those surprise flower that seem to show up for by random. And then here's my shrub line. I planted those years back. I've just planted these last year. They'll catch up pretty quick. And like I said, this tree produce a better living wall than a fence could be. This is already the height of a fence. So it'll go much taller. It could go up to 15 feet. And then over here, in my wild patch at the end, I've got one little mini hackberry I planted there. I've got another one here. These are my big ones planted. Previously, I have this one and this one, and the fruits are starting to grow from under the leaf where all the flowers are. So just have to let that do its thing. So 3 hackberry in a row, nice big bush. And then my wild patch. And the potato flower somehow leapt over my yard and ended up here. So it's kind of a fun thing because I like the color and the contrast with the dogwood that I've got. The dogwood plant here is really nice. It attracts all kind of our local birds and stuff, especially cardinals and things like that. They like to eat the fruit. Here's my little corridor. And when I do my gardening, the cat follows me on the cement. He'll circle all around as I do my gardening. It's really cute. But yeah, so we'll head out. It's a real Garden of Eden back here. I like it because of the shade. The temperature here is about 10 to 20 degree cooler than elsewhere. You get a real good cross breeze because of the openness of the fence here. We get a cross breeze coming from the west. And it just circulates here. It's really, really fresh. So that's a nice thing. This tree was one of the best things I ever did because this really acted to buffer our porch. And like when we have winter storms and stuff like that, the tree actually insulates the house somewhat. There's our balcony up there. So if it gets stormy, we have little damage here. The wind acts as a wind block. The tree acts as a wind block and a snow block during storm and stuff. It's a very good tree. That's how tall my house is. But it's fun when I see people up there. It looks like they're in the jungle and looking from a lookout point. It is a bit of a jungle with this stuff. This is our lovely bamboo. But yeah, there's my rain barrel. I use that. And then up here, it's been such a wet spring, and we have a lot of moss in the ground. And I was noticing we have our little snails sleeping in the moss. So I'll show you an example of that. So here, those are our little garden snails all tucked into the moss. They sleep there during the day and then they get up at night. Yeah, so that's my little garden. Very lush, and it's really nice. This tree is fantastic for shade. Again, it's like a 10-degree difference when you go underneath the tree, and it shades the whole porch so that we always have like a fresh, cool breeze in the front of our house. And in the hot summer day, we like to go sit on the porch. The whole family hangs out there, and especially Aaron. And this is our lovely, this is Gertrude, our garden pet. But yeah, this is our lovely hammock. So I'll give you the nice view we get when we sit in this thing. Ugh. It's always fun. So yeah, my little bit of paradise on earth. Yeah, so I hope you liked our homemade garden tour. This is what life is like. Not too bad at all. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.